I am talking to you today about the holidays, how to navigate the holidays like the boss that you are. Listen, this is the time of year so many people get really wound up and stressed out. This is the time of year that so many people put their own values, their priorities, their desires on the back burner because the holidays feel like a lot. And no doubt they are a lot. There's a lot of people involved. Hey guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's good to see you. Welcome. It is about a lot of people. There's a lot of people involved. There's gift giving, there's hosting, there's all the things. And what I'm talking to you about today as a positive psychologist is how to navigate the holidays. Like, what's your holiday survival guide? Like, I've got you. If you have been feeling, hi Karis, hi Yasmin, if you've been feeling like the holidays are just running away with you, or you're feeling like time is crunched, or you're feeling exhausted, or you're feeling overwhelmed, it doesn't really matter exactly what it is. Hi guys, welcome, welcome. It just matters that you listen. Yes, that you listen up and then you apply. That's the thing. Listen up and apply. Hi! Oh, this is so fun. I love seeing you guys pop in. Hello, hello. So, first of all, the holidays can be a super stressful time, but what I'm going to focus with you on is how to feel really empowered during the holiday season. How to feel truly empowered in your own life and in your own decisions during the holiday season. Why? Because that's what happens in my world. I'm helping women feel like their most empowered selves to make aligned decisions. So, and this is what it comes down to. There's going to be different seasons of life that it feels more challenging to live aligned. And there's going to be seasons that it feels a little bit easier. But I am here to have your back with figuring out exactly how you're going to nail the holidays and just this season of life as we end the year. So we are in the final 3 weeks or so of 2024. How wild is that? How are we feeling? What's the vibe? How are you feeling? Are you crushing it? Are you feeling empowered? Are you on top of it? Are you in control of your life? Are you finishing this year feeling like, I cannot believe what I have done, what I've created, who I've become this year, or not? I'll leave the not as a ... I want you to take a second to think about, okay, how am I doing? How has the year been? The women in my world are women who are extremely driven, self-led, high-achieving women. They're women who want freedom. They want to live their best life. They want to feel like life is now, it's not someday. They're not the women who are going to sit on the sidelines. And so as you listen to this, and as you are that woman, I want you to be thinking about how is it that you'll be able to really hold your self-leadership to the next level as you end this year and start another year. As you guys pop on, drop into the chat, say hi, let me know where you're joining me from. It's so fun when this gets to be collaborative and interactive, and I love seeing where in the world you are and who's joining me, and I can't always see who's here, so it's really fun for me to see the little hellos and comments in the chat. So there's a few things that I want to go over with you today, because this is what's going to activate you into making some decisions and how you're going to make the holidays of 2024. And honestly, this is the path I want you to be on as you start the new year. So it's not just about holiday survival guide. This is about setting the tone for your next incredible year, which is 2025. I want you to feel now today like you have tools, that you know exactly where you're headed, what you're doing along the journey, that is going to set you up for such success, such fulfillment, such fun, joy, balance, flow, whatever it is that you're craving in the new year. But let me tell you a little bit about me. Those of you who are popping in and have never seen me before, I'm Dr. Wendy. I'm a positive psychologist. I help women design their best lives using the science of happiness. Many women in my world are women in leadership, medicine, tech, coaching and entrepreneurship. So I work with a lot of women who have a lot going on, right? There's a lot going on. There's busy, there's drive, there's ambition, there's a lot of mindset stuff, as you can imagine, right? There is a lot of work that I do with women is on preventing burnout through alignment, through truly choosing the values that are going to guide your decisions. And we do this in a number of ways. One of those ways is very strategic, and it's really about, do you know the tools that are going to help set you up for success the way you want to feel about your life? That's just the bottom line. Many women come into my world because they'll say, I just know I want to live better and bigger and more, or more balanced and more successful without sacrificing time or happiness or energy. Like, I want success without burnout, or I want peace in my heart without feeling like anything else is being sacrificed. I just want to feel like I can be me and live a full existence without caring about what other people think, or without feeling limited, without feeling held back, without feeling like I'm playing small. And so much of the work really comes down to, strategically, do you have the tools to make that your reality? Either you do or you don't. And so the work that I'm spending most of my time on with my clients is really integrating positive tools that are going to help them do the things that I'm going to teach you today. So I'm teaching you some of the key pieces of how to love these holidays, and not from a place of like fluffy, but from a place of strategy. Of like, here's the deal. You're like a no BS woman. You're no nonsense. You want it all. And so the way that we get it all and get to keep it all is going to be extremely strategic in the design of how you're living your life. So let's dive in. I'm going to go over a few of these, and then I'm going to decide which ones I really want to dive into as we go. But first and foremost, and this is a big one for holidays, of course, is going to be around boundary setting. So a lot of the women in my world feel really ick about setting boundaries. It feels like you're being mean, or people are going to think you're a bitch, or you're going to have a consequence, you're going to get in trouble. There's going to be some fallout as a result of you setting a boundary. And while all of this could be true, people can think what they want, people are going to have their impressions, people are going to have their reactions. We let the world do its thing. Like, you are not the person who's going to go in there and manage everybody's expectations and manage everybody's emotions and manage everybody's feelings and opinions about you and what you're doing. You're the woman who's going to do the thing. You're going to be in integrity. You're going to protect your time and energy. And you're going to let the world figure it out around you. Like, that's the vibe that I want you to be taking into the holidays and into the new year. So boundary setting is 100% an incredibly important piece of you having happy holidays, and of you having like the holidays that you really truly desire to have, whatever that means, whether it's quiet or it's intimate, whether it's meaningful, whether it's festive and loud and exciting. I want you to feel like boundaries are a non-negotiable part of creating your best life. They just are. So some of the boundaries to think about are something as simple as saying no to overcommitment, like literally saying no. So you can just say, I love the invitation. Thank you so much for thinking of me. I'm unable to do it. I want you to think about where you can set boundaries in your life that are going to really make a big difference. So they can be around finances. Maybe they're around setting a budget and how you're going to stick to that budget when it comes to gift giving or gift purchasing, or even when it comes to attending events or parties. And I want you to think about just the emotional energy that you want to protect and how you're going to set boundaries around that. So thinking about, like, even this is a big one that comes up for a lot of people, the types of conversations that you may engage in around the holidays are around experiencing different people and different walks of life and different mindsets is going to be one that can have many different notes to it, many different tones to it. And I want you to go into events and experiences and gatherings, and I want you to feel like you have the right to, the ability to protect your emotional energy. Like, you have the ability to walk away in a situation that's like doesn't serve you in a party. You have the ability to like change the subject. So I know that there's a lot of my clients that will say there's just a lot of negative people in their lives, or critical people, naysayer people who just like to worry or complain, and that's all they talk about. You have permission, because I'm granting it to you, but mostly because you're going to grant it to yourself, to actually leave a conversation or change the subject so that you're really able to let yourself not feel like completely depleted energetically. Energy it runs out, right? We honestly all know that we need to replenish our stores, and everyone's different on this one, but I want you to know that wherever you feel depleted energetically around this time of year, you have permission to go ahead and change that. Whether it means a firm no, whether it means even setting limits, even around time. So another boundary is just around time. You could be going to an event or invited somewhere, and you could say, yes, I'm so excited to see you on Friday night. We're going to be there from like 6 to 8, and then we're going to head home because we just need to like recharge and get some good rest for the next day. You can set expectations with people in advance. How amazing is that? Most people never think of this. They just think that they are like dreading the goodbye, right? Or that but it does help if you know what your limits, ideal limits are, that you let yourself actually say, all right, we're going to be there from this time to this time, and then we're going to head out. Or you can say things like, we're keeping this holiday to our household this year. Like, it's going to be a little different this year. I so appreciate the invitation, and we loved last year, or whatever you want to say that feels authentic to you. And we're actually going to be doing things a little different this year, and we're going to keep it in our household. We're just going to keep it home. Setting boundaries is protective, not only for you and your energy and your spirit, but it's also protective for relationships. And so much of the time, people forget that. They think they worry more about their perception of how they're going to come across when they set a boundary. And they focus less on the point of the boundary, the purpose of the boundary, why the boundary exists in the first place. So I want you to acknowledge for yourself, like, okay, what are my financial boundaries the holiday season? What are my time commitment boundaries around the holiday season? What are my emotional, energetic boundaries around the holiday season? Like, what can I do that's going to protect me and the way that I want to feel around the holidays? These are all available to you. And I want you to go ahead and even just write down some ideas of things you can do. Hosting. This is another one that comes up. Boundaries around hosting. It's okay if you're someone who like loves to host and you're like, I really want to host, but I'm tired this year and I just need like some support. You can say something like, I'm excited to host you guys. I would be so grateful if everyone could just bring a dessert or bring an app or bring something small. That would help me out so much so I don't spend all night in the kitchen and all day the next day cleaning and whatever. So thinking about your boundaries, who are you? How do you want this to go? This is a backup conversation because honestly, this is a place that I see a lot of women flounder. They're like, I don't know what I want. It's not about me. The holidays are about the kids. The holidays are about the family. The holidays are about whoever's loudest and whoever's most demanding. And I just surrender and I just like default to them. I don't want this 2024 holidays, and especially as you start a new year, that's going to be an amazing new year. I do not want that to be the thing that you operate from. This is not the model that I want you operating from. I want you to give yourself that space to be like, we're going to change things up a little bit. Girlfriend's going to set some boundaries this year. We're going to have a little fun. I'm going to feel a little bit more supported, protected. I'm going to advocate for myself. I'm going to let there be risks and consequences if there are, because honestly, my mental health matters. My happiness matters. My time that I do not get back matters. So financial boundaries, hosting boundaries. I'm just checking my notes to make sure I cover all the things I want to cover with you guys. Emotional, energetic boundaries, time commitment boundaries, even tradition boundaries. Like, where are the traditions that you really love? Hi guys, welcome. What are the traditions that you really love? What matters to you in terms of the traditions that you experience? And how do they align with, or how do they actually like work against other people's ideal traditions? So this is a big one for people. And we have our own traditions that we really love. Hi. We love the traditions that we have, whether it's like getting the tree or making cookies or whatever those traditions are. We have a bunch of them that I, as mom, work hard to uphold because it's very easy for those to kind of like slink away at the first bad mood or the first shift in like expectations or desires. And so if we start to outsource what matters most to us. Hi, Christine. If we start to outsource what matters most to us, like the traditions we care most about, and we just kind of let it be like, okay, whatever. Like if everyone's into it, we'll do it. And if everyone's not, we won't. This is when things start to take a turn and we don't enjoy the holidays as much. Let your traditions or your holiday routines or the things that matter to you be known. Let them be set as an expectation. Let them be discussed. Let them be shared. Not as a question mark. Hey, are you into this idea? Like, do you want to do this year? Unless you're truly at peace with maybe not doing it. Instead, really lean in to protecting what matters most to you. And this is something I talk about with so much with my clients in my world is how do you live in line with your values on a regular basis, because you don't live in a vacuum. So your values are going to potentially rub up against other people's values, other people's opinions and perspectives, other people's expectations. How do you navigate protecting your values, especially in times like the holidays, right? Like this is the time that it tends to feel pretty wonky for a lot of people. So that's why I'm sharing with you all today what the holiday survival guide is according to positive psychology, according to my expertise, according to my experience working with women and seeing like how stressed people get, how frustrated, even how resentful. It could come down to just feeling like you're just not even like getting to do the things that matter to you, that you want to do, because you keep deferring to the louder voice. You keep deferring to the demands of the world, or you let guilt lead you. Let this be the holiday season where guilt is not leading your decisions, but your values are and your desires are. This is what I want you guys to be focusing on. So after we talked about boundary setting, which is going to be a number one conversation no matter what the context is, truly, I want you to be thinking about how can I marry planning ahead with being flexible? Is this not the $1 million question for so many people? There's a lot of women in my world who are perfectionists and they have a really tricky time balancing this. So a lot of the times it's going to feel like, I don't know how to be flexible because there's just these like rigid expectations or feelings feel big and we don't know how to navigate those appropriately. We get really dysregulated. I want you to think about if I were to marry planning ahead with flexibility, what would that look like for me? So I want you to think about this, like maybe you create the schedule, and I'm about to do this today actually. I'm about to show up to the countertop and to write out for the next couple of weeks of 2024, what is the plan? Where are we going? What are the commitments and events, obligations, and responsibilities? Because I want to know where my energy is going to be spread a little thin, if it is, where my energy is going to be heightened, where it's going to be taxed. I want to know this in advance. Why? So I can plan ahead. I don't want to burn out. I don't want to resent the holidays. I don't want to feel like I'm not loving this time of year. I want to feel like I am. I want to enjoy it just as much as like we designed it for kiddos. I want to enjoy it so much that I feel super present and I don't feel like my mind is in 1,000 places and I don't feel behind and I don't need to catch up and I don't feel overwhelmed. That's my goal, and that's my goal for you as well. So think about how you can plan ahead, whether it's making a schedule or making a list or even just kind of like reverse engineering, like, oh, we have these things on certain days. How do I kind of like look back and be like, okay, so I need to get really good sleep the 2 nights before that so that I really have the energy. Or as you can hear in my voice, like I'm trying to recover from a cold. So the idea is, how do I protect energy now? Because I can see the runway. I can see ahead of what's coming and I know what I need now to make this an experience where I feel really good then too at the execution of the holiday events. So planning ahead, how can you marry that with flexibility? And flexibility means you're letting go of expectations of perfectionism because they just don't exist. They just don't exist, right? It's like reminding yourself that truly, hold on 1 second. Here we go. Okay. Just needed to do a little something over there. Reminding yourself that truly you can plan ahead and you can pivot as necessary. There's all the things that happen. Like the idea that there's like some perfect plan or map out for how you're going to do this season is just not going to be realistic for you. And in the next couple of weeks when it feels like the rubber meets the road and time just feels limited, I want you to feel like I can call on flexibility as a skill for me and as a strength for me. And I can be proactive and plan ahead so I'm just not like caught off guard by the things that are in my control. Let yourself be flexible with what's out of your control. Focus on being planful and proactive with the things in your control. This is a really simple but easy shift for you to think about when it comes to like rocking it this holiday. How can I be planful and proactive and be flexible? It's going to be the things in my control versus out of my control. Feel free to make a list of those things so that it seems really clear for you of which is which. The next one is really going to be simplification. Now, I say this because Not because I'm like grinchy about it and I'm just like, oh, like, don't be festive and don't go over the top and don't have the best time. But I will say, I can't tell you the number of times where I have heard from women that they'll say like, it was too much. It was just too much. It was just too much. Have you ever felt this way? It was just too much. Hey guys, welcome, by the way. It's so good to see you. When you join in, say hi. Let me know where in the world you are. I love seeing who's here and what you're up to and where you are. I'm Dr. Wendy, positive psychologist. I help women design their best lives using the science of happiness and the strategic tools to really, on purpose, design the life that you're meant for, not the life you're settling for. And I'm talking to you today about what the holiday survival guide looks like. And really, I wanted to call it more of like a holiday thriving guide because this is really what it's about. And so simplification is a really important piece of it. And it's not about not being like all in. It's not about not being festive AF. It's not about not having the time of your life. It's not. It's just about stop doing the things that you will in hindsight go, that was over the top. That was too much. I'm exhausted. I need to recover. We want to have more self-awareness, especially at this stage of life. Like we've lived through a couple decades at least of holidays. Like we know ourselves well enough to know like what are the things that deplete me? What are the things that light me up? What are the things I really feel are meaningful and I enjoy? And what are the things that just feel like a waste of money and time? And I'm just like, I can't believe I did that again. I want you to think about how you can simplify the experience of the holiday season so that you really can go into it being like, this is by design. This is intentional. This is deliberate. Where I'm spending time and spending money, where my gestures are of love, connection, and meaning are going to be the ones that I choose and the way I choose it. One of the things we've started doing in my family to get away from just some of the extra and to simplify is to incorporate some what I call Christmas tickets. And so I take my girls on different types of Christmas experiences so that it's not such a huge focus on what am I getting under the tree on Christmas morning, but it's more so a focus on like the gesture of love and connection, making memories together that we like won't get this time back. And so it's just as much enjoyable for me as it is for them. And it's a really great way to simplify. So let's recap. I could go on, and there's definitely a few more on the list that I could go into, but for the purpose of our live today and leaving you with some golden nuggets to take into your life, I want to keep it simple and streamlined. So simplification of expectations of what gift giving looks like, super important. Stop being the person that feels like you have to go over the top to make it happy for everybody. That's not the way it is, and that's not what they want. No one wants you to like bend over backwards and feel exhausted and burnt out to make them happy. Like that's just not the vibe in your family, in your circles. And so stop letting that be your reason why you need to like spend 2025, the first month of it, just like recovering. This is so important. So the next one is being planful, like proactively planning ahead, but being flexible. Think about what's in your control versus out. Focus on planning ahead and being proactive with what's in your control and being super flexible and surrendering to things that are out of your control or pivoting and recalibrating when things that are out of your control surprise you or catch you off guard. This can be a huge trigger for people during this time of year, and I want you to feel well prepared and I want you to feel like you're very capable and empowered as you navigate the next few weeks. And lastly, the boundaries, the most important piece. How we protect our time, our energy, and our relationship is through boundary setting. So I want you to think about the examples I gave of time commitment boundaries, financial boundaries, protecting your emotional energy boundaries, hosting boundaries, if you're going to be hosting any of the events this season, and then the traditions boundaries, like really allowing yourself to step to the forefront of your decision making and ask yourself, does this align with my values? Does it align with the way I want to feel this holiday season? And if it doesn't, it very well might be a no. And that is okay. It is okay to thank someone for an invitation. It is okay to say, we're not up for it this year. It is okay to say, I need some support or help. It is okay to say, there's just too much going on that I really want to be present for, and I really just don't want to miss these moments, and so I'm going to have to say no to this. Let yourself get creative with ways to respectfully and lovingly decline the extra stuff that gets in the way of you feeling like yourself. You don't need to be someone else this holiday season. You need to be and deserve to be your best, happiest, most fulfilled self as you navigate the holidays. So If this resonates with you, drop a comment in the chat. Let me know, like, what did you take away? What was the nugget? I'd love to hear. I'd love to read them all. And have the most incredible holiday season. I will be back live soon, so stay tuned in my stories. Follow me for more. I have a ton of strategies, tips, and tricks in my feed, and I'm going to be up to some pretty naughty, fun things in the new year, so stick around and join in when it feels aligned for you. Mwah. Have a great day.